I find facts. Now, while you're considering what to do with him, stay here because I'm going to go get another one. And I'll be right back. And we'll have another story to tell. What do you think we're going to do with this one? That's the way it works. I never get lost in punishments. It's not my job. I'm not an avenging angel. I'm not. I speak for the victim because the victim cannot speak anymore. I stand in their shoes and I resolve this circumstance in which they found themselves because they're not able to. And I present that to society. What do you think? Colorado didn't become a state until 1876. Before that, it was a territory. Understood. In the Colorado Territory, there were 23 crimes that carried the death penalty. 23. It was carried out without hesitation, immediately upon arrest. That's the way it was. Cut a barbed wire fence, death. Steal a horse, death. And on and on. Okay? Steal a cow, death. You know. Everything was death. Now, in the state of Colorado, there are 3 crimes that carry a death penalty. And we haven't executed anybody since 1997. We've kind of gotten away from that, the death penalty. Okay, society makes that decision, not me. You prefer not to have that? Fine. Presently, there are 2 million people, 2 million with an M, people in prison in the United States. 2 million. It costs us $80 billion a year, that's with a B, to keep them in jail. To feed them, watch them, guard them, and keep the doors locked. Whatever we're doing, it's not working. We need to rethink this whole thing. Nobody wants to do that because it's difficult, it's expensive. Oh my, we don't want that. We want simple. We like microwave solutions. 30 seconds and there, it's done. And we open the door and everything's fine. Everything isn't fine. So people like me collect the garbage. It's human garbage, but we collect it. The difference is on occasion it returns. Didn't I throw you away? Well, yeah, but that was 12 years ago. I'm out now. Oh. So I'm collecting you again. Well, yeah. So I get to throw you away again. Well, yes. But then you'll get out. Well, yes. I'll be out. Deeper questions that have to be answered by someone other than me. I'm retired. I'm old. I'm on my way out. All that sort of thing. So, but those were the issues that faced me in my career, and the events that I was forced to deal with involved horrific things involving dead people. Children, babies, adults. In Colorado, you must, by law, the police are summoned if you die outside the presence of a doctor or outside of a custodial medical environment. The police are called to determine the method and manner of death. True in many states. So I looked at dead people 5 or 6 or 8 times a day, every day. Natural causes, suicide, and occasional murder, but it's constant. So when they say military has PTSD, well, they do. Combat tours are 12 to 15 months of intense agony and awfulness. Law enforcement is a slow dance of awfulness and intenseness and so on for 25 years. Do I have PTSD? Yes, I do. Do I sleep well? No, I don't. Am I ever going to? No, I'm not. Am I ever going to forget this stuff? No. Would I love to? Of course. You can't forget. It's not that you don't want to. You can't. It's a price you pay for the work. It was worth it. It was worth it. But it's part of it. Mrs. Kenda has suffered through that over the years. When I would sit and stare at the wall and all those sorts of things. I'm better at it now. I've gotten better at it. I think I have. Anyway. there are moments, PTSD is best described this way, and then we'll close that subject, but PTSD is described as having a nightmare while you're awake. It is a bizarre thing. A thought, a face, a sound, a smell, a noise, and you've got a gun in your hand and you're right back in the moment. And it's like, wow, what was that? It's like a lightning bolt. It's amazing. But I'm still here. I'm more or less normal, mostly less normal. I took a job, as Stuart pointed out, when I retired, to be a special needs bus driver. My little kids, I called my bus the Waldorf Hysteria. Because everybody on the bus was crazy, including the driver. So it was great, you know, and those kids loved me and I loved them back. And it was a great moment in my life to finally, when I was working, you were either afraid of me or you hated me or both. Those kids loved me. And it was, hi, Mr. Joe. Hey, how are you? It was a very pleasant thing. I enjoyed it immensely. To be around people who needed some help that no one was particularly willing to help. Those little kids, some of them were in foster care, some of them, they were just buried in the system somewhere. Great little people who are just trying to do the best they can, like all of us are. So I enjoyed that a lot. And Kathy wound up, she's a nurse, retired as a nurse, wound up working in the same job until we fell into this TV thing, and then here we are, doing this now, we're not doing that. So I took the standard career path of policeman, special needs bus driver, and international TV star. Which everybody does, as you know. Who would have ever thought that? Certainly not I. I can't even believe anybody watches this show, but people love the show. So it's remarkable to me to this day. It's remarkable to see yourself on television. You know, the first time I did it, I was like, dude, that's me. Yeah. And then you don't think you sound like that, because your own voice sounds different to you than it does to everybody else. Is that my voice? Well, yeah, it is. It doesn't sound that way to me, but that's just how things are. You know? So what's in the future for us? Well, there's a couple things going on I'll tell you about, and we'll get back to the other subjects, but I'm in a movie with Jeff Garlin and Kaylee Cuoco, the girl, the little blonde from The Big Bang Theory. It's a Netflix original. It comes out the end of this year, beginning of next. It's called Handsome. It's a police comedy, and I'm the serious part. I play myself, Lieutenant Joe Kenda. It's very funny. It's very R-rated, but it's very fun. Garland is an R-rated kind of guy, but it's funny stuff. And I filmed that in Hollywood in May. And I'm writing a book. I signed a book deal a month ago in New York. That'll be out in 2017. There's a second cruise coming up in January. KendaCruise.com is Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas. Mr. Seeley, with his hand in the air, is a guy that does that deal. And you, for a little bit of money, you come on a cruise ship with Kathy and I, and we all get drunk and we have a good time. It's a blast, you know? And we did it last year. It was an amazing thing, and everybody had a wonderful time. And so we're going to do it again. And there's some slots available, I guess, through his thing. But anyway, if somebody's interested in that, they can see him afterwards. He's got a flyer on the thing. And, so, you know, there's a lot of things going on. My schedule becomes insane sometimes. Like, I'm here today, and this came up just inadvertently. It's a week early. They move everything around at their will, right? So I've got to drive back to Suffolk, Virginia tonight. And at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, a limousine's in the driveway for Kathy and I to go to Norfolk Airport to fly to Colorado to do the last 3 episodes of season 6. And then I had to come back, and then I had to go to New York. And it's like, you know, it's a good thing I'm retired. I don't have time to work. So that part's okay. I mean, I'm not complaining, trust me. But there are moments when you think, you know, if it's Tuesday, this must be Belgium. I mean, you know, it gets like that. It's like, what? Who? You know? We've gotten awake sometimes in hotels, you and I, and you look and say, where am I? Oh, it's the White House. Okay, we're in D.C. All right. It's startling. You know, it's really startling. Los Angeles is a place to avoid if I were you. I don't like to go there, but I go there. There's still a lot of filming happens in California. I film my show in Colorado. So all of those years in homicide, all those nights when I didn't come home, Kathy has got to be the toughest woman in the world. And I was cruel. I was driven by the adrenaline rush. I didn't like it, I loved it. I knew what it did to her, and I didn't care. I had to do this. I just had to. It took me a long time to realize how stupid that was, but I finally did. I made lieutenant, and that's when she got really mad at me, because she knew as a lieutenant I could be a desk weenie, and not ever go outside and, direct all my minions to go out and do everything. But that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to pull guns on people and kick doors. That's what I do. So I continued to do it, and it really rankled her. And I knew it did. I didn't know how deep it went, but I knew it did. And one night, one afternoon, long story short, this pukey little kid, he's like 16 years old. His mother moves him from LA to Colorado Springs to get him away from gangs. He goes to his new high school in Colorado Springs, and he thinks he's a bad boy. And he's going to tell all these kids about how he's going to show them, that he's a LA gangbanger and what do they know and so on. And they're kids, they're just kids, and they're running their mouth, right? And they say to him, well, we're going to kill you after school. Well, no, they're not. But that's what they said. That sounded like impressive. We're going to kill this guy. He calls his brother on the phone, who really is a gangbanger and is 24 years old. And he says, there's kids who are going to kill me after school. The brother takes an Ingram Mac 11, which is a 9mm submachine gun, inserts a 32-round magazine in it, and drives to that high school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Finds his brother. Where are these kids? We're in that car. He empties that weapon into that car. Kills 1, wounds 3, hits a McDonald's across the street. The police department management is freaked, so is the press, oh my God, automatic weapons fired at high school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, broad daylight, So it takes me 5 days to figure out who did this. I called Kathy, as I had done hundreds of times, and I said, I'm going to get this jerk with the machine gun and I'll be late. She says, okay. So off I go. I come bebopping in the door at 1 o'clock in the morning. All lights are on. Dude, that ain't good. Come on, lights are on. Lights are never on, I look around the corner. She's on the sofa in tears. I've seen her cry 3 times since I've known her, which is all my life. She had a drink in front of her, which was also very rare. And I thought her mother had passed away. Her mother wasn't well. And I said, what's the matter? And when she's really mad at me, she calls me by my last name. She says, Kenda, I can't wait for you to come home anymore. Yes, ma'am. I returned. Took me 2 years to lose the venom. But I was sitting at the kitchen table one morning, and I was drinking coffee, minding my own business, and she says, hi. Are you like in a coma? Have you loosened or what? I've been sitting here for 2 hours. She said, no, you have. But you're the guy I married again. Hey, that was very nice.